hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here. And we are... Yes, we are in the Wester Sand this time. I told you this was going to be happening. So, yeah, there's our ringworm monster. Now, how do I want to go about handling this? Well, first we're going to use Pinello to detect his weakness with all those elemental gambits we have set up. And we'll see if we have a elemental spell that he's weak to. If not, we might try Dark with Fran. But we're going to start out by dispelling him as well. I also have Balthier out here to try and get slow on him with that heavy lance. Alright, so he is weak to fire because Pinello's casting Fira. So we're going to switch over to the Flame Staff. Yes. Yep. I was just making sure that it wasn't the generic fire target. Wow, that was 3,800 damage. Immobilize Ga. That could be an issue. Okay, but he's slowed down too. He's using breath, and dang, that hurt. Fortunately, we have Larsa and Ash there to cure. You know, Pinello's dishing out a lot of damage, but you can see this guy has a ton of health. And there's another tomato thing coming. Well, here, let's take out the tomato thing. We don't need that in the way. Using Immobilize again. Pinello's dead. Why is Pinello dead? Oh my gosh, this is awful. We're Immobilize good. Hello, somebody help. Thank you. I guess that's something Asuna can cure. You know, I almost think... Now, here's another Immobilize guy. You know, I almost think we're going to switch Balthier out for Fran here. Because Fran also has Fira, and that's just going to do more damage. No, don't switch out Ash and Pinello. We need them. There we go. 1812. So now we're dealing almost 6 grand between Pinello and Fran's attacks. Trying to get oil on him just to see if we can further his weakness to fire, but he seems to be immune to it. Or it missed. No, it missed. Okay. Spoiler alert, he's immune to it. Yeah, immune. So there goes that idea. But yeah, we'll just keep going with the Fira. And I don't know, given the damage output this guy is doing, I don't mind constantly going into the menu and just manually commanding Fran here, just because, yeah, as you can see, he just kind of one-shot Larsa there. Or just hit him with 2 successive attacks. So, just so I can kind of keep a better eye on what's going on. But, yeah, at this point, I am a little bit annoyed by having to constantly do that. So, yeah, let's set up this gambit really quick, because who knows how long this could be going on. We'll turn that on. And there's another nasty breath attack. But there's some curas. Hey, leave Pinello alone. Okay, you know, we need to do... Fran's doing curing, which she shouldn't be. Because I brought Fran in here to be on the offense. Yeah, we're going to use Larsa, and I don't really care if Fran's immobilized. What we should do is get, like, Protect or Shell on people, but that takes a little bit to do, and I think by the time we have that, This guy will be dead. Yeah, look at that damage output by especially Pinello. You can see how, I mean, Pinello, I think she has some more magic lures than Fran does, but still, you can see how much that Flame Staff is boosting as well. And we get 16 license points for beating that. Alright, very well. Let's, yeah, we'll gear up. And another thing is I also, well, I'll talk about all the licensing stuff together. And there's a treasure over there. Please go get the treasure. Thank you. Phoenix Down. No, that's fine, because I did use a couple Phoenix Downs in that battle. Alright, let's go back to our petitioner. In Lowtown. And you didn't get to see me get lost here this time. I probably did. We got a moon ring, 200 gil, but an ice brand. That's a new weapon for that we can give to Bosch there. So I'm gonna make sure he. Do we have the license for that right now? No, of course not. But it's more attack power, and it's also ice elemental. So I'm going to... Actually, do I go into the license screen? Go into the license screen. No, we're not going into the license screen. We're looking at our loot, the moonstone, moon ring. I don't remember what I end up doing with that. I think I sell it at some point. Okay, so what I'm going to do now... Yeah, we have a lot of license points to spend. We're going to get Bosch the Swords 5, so we can put that to use, but I'm going to do more licensing off-screen. In fact, I'll just go ahead and start telling you the stuff we get. So for Fran, we end up getting... Well, screen's going to switch here. There we go. For Fran, we end up getting the Swiftness, Time Magic 3, White Magic 6, and some Magic Lures. Oh, and traveling through these Osmond Plains was a lot easier this time with Bosch, because you know those Messamere things, the giant metal horsey things, they're really weak to the to ice. And Bosch's Ice brand can almost one-shot those things just on its own, so that's really nice. Alright, other licenses I got. Vaughn, we got some shield blocking. It improves his chances at shield blocking. And we're almost at another swiftness. I was just like maybe 90 license points short or something, so I'll probably pick that up as soon as I get enough built up for that again. Bosch, I got him a quickening just to kind of get behind there and get some HP boosts. Got some HP boosts and some battle lures. And it says a stray battle lore. I don't know what a stray battle lore is. It must have been something that was just like kind of a few spaces off away from the rest of the battle lores that I found, and yeah, where it was behind a quickening. One of those two. Well, this does not look good. This looks really bad.
Researchers from the Draco
Are you sure we have to go into the Henne mines?
What were they doing here?
Research.
Wow. Thanks, both here. Okay, so for Ash, I got her some magic lures, 2 swiftness. Would that be swiftness is? Or swiftness I? Well, plural. We got 2 swiftness licenses for her. And I got her some HP boosts as well. For Penelo, I got her some HP boosts from the monk side of things. And we're heading towards... the next thing I'm heading towards is a channeling. Kind of ran out of LP for her. I also got her Green Magic 2. I don't know if we'll ever use that on her, but I always want to have access to the magic licenses just to keep my options open for possible strategies if the need for that stuff ever arises. On both here, I got him some battle lores, a bunch of battle lores actually. The quickening to get behind Black Magic 5, that will give him access to Fyra, Thundara, and Blizzara. Not that we have all of those right now, we're still missing Blizzara. But, this is the Hene Mines, by the way. It looks really deep and massive. Again, just take things one screen at a time, and the dungeons are fairly straightforward in these games. Which I appreciate that, given the overworld areas. So yeah, as you can see, looks like there was going to be a huge branching path, but no, that's a dead end right there. And that other gate, I'm not sure how to open yet. Actually, I haven't done any of the post games. Did I open that before finishing the game? I don't know. Alright, anyways, so what this note is telling us is that the main gimmick in this dungeon is that there's going to be switches to open certain gates. However, it works kind of like the red-blue statue switches from Zelda Link, A Link to the Past. So basically, when you open some gates, other gates will close. So it's not like you can have all the gates open all the time. So, and this is a gate switch. Yes, that's a gate switch, and it's going to open... No, not the one right next to it. That would make too much sense. It's going to open the one way down there. But you can see it closed another one ahead, so we'll have to go up and take a different path through there. You can't just plow straight through. Oh, a wounded Imperial. Hey, what's actually going on? And you're not going to tell us. Okay, fine. Oh, another note. Okay, so they've had some weird things happening with some of the workers down here recently. Again, not a pleasant sign. I mean, we can't just come to the mines, find Mirn, and be on our way, can we? No, of course not. That'd be far too convenient. But, these bats... Crooked Fangs. Crooked Fangs are actually really nice things to sell. I don't remember the exact amount of gil they give, or was it bat wings? One of those two. We end up getting a lot of them, and they sell for quite a bit. I want to say once I sell all of them that I have, I end up getting like around 20,000 gil just from that alone. So it's really nice. Definitely make sure you're stealing. Also make sure whoever your thief is, like when you go to switch the party members, you switch who has the Thief's Gloves, because I only have one set of Thief's Gloves for right now. Oh, well, that's all my notes for this part, so... Oh, post-game. Yes, I promised to talk about post-game content if I didn't already. So, what I will do for the post-game... Well, I'll tell you what I like in post-game and what I don't like in post-game. What I don't like in post-game is, okay, say you finish the main game at level 60 to 70, or whatever you finish the main game at. If there is no new areas to explore or anything, all you have is a ton, and I mean a ton, of grinding to do. Whether it's grinding for rare items or some other monster farming or item farming, and of course the usual experience and level grinding on top of all that. And all you have to do is fight a couple super bosses, but you need to do all of that grinding in order to actually defeat them or stand a reasonable chance against them. I would not be doing that sort of post-game stuff. Post-game stuff that I would like to do is, you know, kind of like Final Fantasy IV. Well, I should say the post-game that they introduced in the Game Boy Advance version, and it's in the PSP version of Final Fantasy IV. And it's basically like a humongous bonus dungeon, and you can enter there and reasonably take on the monsters. You'll struggle for a little bit, but it's very doable. And you'll level up very quickly, too. But, we got poison. That's kind of rude. I might have to put that tourmaline ring back on Bosch if this becomes a real thing. But, we'll just have... what's-his-face, Lar secure. He's got plenty of MP. Yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So things are going to inflict poison, and they're mainly going to inflict it on Bosch since he's the one that's going to be attacking them first. So we're going to just put the ring on Bosch there. So yeah, if we can enter a post-game dungeon or area and reasonably take on the enemies basically right after beating the main game without, you know, feeling overwhelmed or overpowered or anything, then yeah, that's the type of post-game I will do. We have a split path. It seems like it's a very split path, but you know, two of these paths are just going to lead you to a loop, and they're just going to loop back around on each other. So it seems big, but it's really not as big as what I make it out to be here. Because past gameplay me was kind of freaking out. And of course, leave it to me. My luck is that I will find the path that leads to progress instead of the path that leads to dead ends and treasure first. A nightmare? Well, at least it's not a nightmare frog. That's all I have to say about that. And again, we do still have those in this game. So that's post-game content that I do and don't like. And I'll give you guys a little spoiler alert. There are some areas which I thought we were going to be going to by the plot, and there's some areas that I discover that have enemies that were, well, we'll just say they were beyond the level that I was at for the time that I found them. And we'll be running into that on camera too, and you'll see me attempt to take them on and attempt to just run by them and get to new areas and new treasure, and then have to retreat back through all of that mess because it was not going well at all. But that's for later. So yeah, there are some things to do in the post-game other than just, hey, go out and mine for rare item drops so you can get better equipment, or go out and find the rare games so that you know, you can get better equipment and stuff. There is some of that happens in this game. I was doing some research, so I'm not going to do any of those rare hunts. I've kind of mentioned that before. If I find them, I find them. But there's like a whole side quest that will unlock a whole bunch of those rare hunts. Speaking of rare hunts, I did run into one of those off-screen as well. The Felidant rare monster. I think it was in the Wester Sand area. It was either a zombie or one of those ghost type monsters that teleported around. It was an undead type. He wasn't too tough at all. In fact, I think he was a giant skeleton warrior. I think that was the one. There's one I find that's a giant dark ghost type, but I think the one I found there was the skeleton warrior. But yeah, there are a couple places that I can think of going to after the post game, so I'm at least going to explore those areas. I don't know how much of the post game we'll do. I can promise you we're not going to get all of the items, because some of them do involve that rare hunt quest, or I should say the rare monster quest. And that's just not my cup of tea. That's not what I enjoy. So I'll do the post game. I'll do the post game until I don't enjoy it anymore. And level grinding in the post game I don't mind as much. In fact, we have those accessories we can put on to double the experience points, and I don't feel like license points are going to be a huge issue by the time we get to the end game. I mean, I've kind of mentioned this before, that I feel like I'm constantly over-licensed, and yeah, there's still a lot of passive buffs and things that I want to get, but once I get all those passive buffs, all I'm really going to need license points for is, well, this is a dangerous treasure. Okay, guys, don't anybody step on that trap. Don't. Larsa, I know you were thinking of it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to do some of the post-game areas, which are areas that I really thought we were going to end up traveling to during the main game. I'll rant about that more when we get to the end. But, yeah, I'll check those out. I'll see if we can reasonably take on those. I'll go back and pick up some treasures that, well, I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm giving away too much of what we're going to do in, like, 50 parts or so. We've got a long ways to go until we get to post-game. But if I run into, like, super bosses, I'm going to attempt to do all of the hunts from the tavern. I will commit to that. I don't know if we're going to complete them. It depends on how insane crazy they get. I might try some of the super bosses. It just depends on how much we get powered up in the rest of our post-game travels. And we got the double experience points, so accessory, so that might help with the level grinding portion of it. And I will try to get at least some certain equipment that I feel isn't too difficult to get. We got Bone Crusher. That sounds like a hammer. It's not. Where is it? I thought for sure it said it was Bone Crusher. Oh, maybe that's a technique. Yes, it is. It's that technique. Consume HP to reduce the HP of one foe to 0. No thank you. That just doesn't sound pleasant. Like, what am I going to use it on? The random enemies that die in 3 hits anyways? Why would I want to expend HP to do that? Or am I going to use it on bosses who it's probably not going to work against, and we probably don't have enough HP? I'm assuming it's a 1 HP for 1 damage trade, which would be an awful trade, by the way, especially against bosses. So, I don't know. I never use the thing. If it's actually useful for something, please, feel free to let me know this stuff in the comment section. But I'm starting to go through this blindly. Although I do have memories of what I believe is the next boss. Maybe I just saw someone else playing the game and saw the boss, and I don't remember if I played against the boss myself, but I know something that the boss did, and it really annoyed me, and I was just like, I don't feel like dealing with this, whether I wasn't at this point yet, or whether I got to this point and actually had to deal with it, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm sick of this game. I'm sick of this game and the license board and all that. I do like how they handled the licenses in this game and have the job classes, and oh my, there's a giant dinosaur in our immediate future. Oh, I want info on him. Tyrannosaurus B. Okay, well, it's only at 2,600 health, so, and it's going to be weak to arrow. So this is doable. Oh no, not 2,600. Level 26. It's got 4,000 health, but still, it's going to be very doable. Yeah, look at this. We take it down quickly. It's not that bad. Oh, wow. Nice experience and 2 license points for it. Very much appreciated. Yeah, so I'll do post game until I get bored with it or don't feel like dealing with it. And that's how we're gonna handle the post game when we get to it. I will try to upgrade some of the equipment so it's might be competent, but again, I don't know what all is going to be thrown at us, especially when it comes to some of the post-game hunts. But we've explored a good portion of the mines, and I'm going to stop here, and yeah, we'll explore more of this next time.